new game. There's a little bit of lag. I don't know why. I mean, this game doesn't look to be way too demanding. So it's made by Team 7, I believe, right? Like the same. Mentioned that. I don't know if you guys could hear it, but yes. At the beginning, people thought it was. Media started talking about social distancing. It wasn't until the livestock began dying and those who had been infected began shrieking out in pain that they realized a deadly plague. The various kingdoms trying to fend off the sickness and ghastly creatures, but their efforts were futile. I love the word ghastly. Ghastly, like Twitter. Twitter is ghastly. Herm's kingdom, founded atop a colossal tree, quickly rose to power due to their use of miraculous alchemical science. Oh my fucking god, they trusted the science. They had Dr. Fauci, the alchemist. As the plague ravaged the lands, they relied on alchemy to fight the to light the blessed flame. But where there is light, there will always be shadow. Oh, okay. It's not ghostly, it's ghastly. Oh wow, the game actually looks pretty. ESD, you can move Corvus around, alright. Examine. Due to the recent epidemic outbreak, Herm's kingdom is declaring a state of emergency. All citizens must abide by the following orders. All citizens are forbidden from going out. Oh my fucking god. Stay home, stay safe, save the NHS. Essential supplies will be distributed by the knights. Any sightings of the plague-like symptoms or mutations must be immediately reported. Okay, so an army of snitches. How the fuck can you report it? Like, this is not very good lore. Like, how can you report it if you're staying inside? Oi, developers. This is not modern times. They don't have cell phones. They don't have access to Twitter. How can they report shit if they're forced to stay inside? Any corpses or unclean objects must be handed over to the relevant personnel for incineration. Yeah, okay. The game lags a little bit. I don't know why. I hope you're getting a better quality on the stream. Otherwise, I'll have to just stop playing and do something else. So, apparently when you hit someone, you do wounds on them. Like, why can't you just take away their health bar? And instead, you do wounds. And if you stop hitting someone, they regenerate. So, I don't know. Why is the doctor with a sword? I don't think he's a doctor. You know, just because it's kind of like those dancing TikTok nurses. Just because they're dressed as a nurse doesn't actually make them a nurse, right? So the costume doesn't make the play. This is why Agent 47 is so good at infiltrating, because people look at the costume and they're like, oh wow, this is actually a police officer, clearly not a hitman. So the combat to me looks more like Bloodborne. If you enjoyed Bloodborne, you're going to enjoy this. You don't have a shield. But you do have this ridiculous dash. And apparently you can also deflect. Let's see how that works. So you have to time it correctly. I think. Okay. Right. Let's not do that. Let's just use... You know, like, it's the same in the Bloodborne. I don't know Genie Mercurialis. Definitely not Rosa. I don't know if this is a good game or not. I just started playing. So far, I do like the atmosphere and the graphics. But I can't tell you any more than that. Like, I haven't even seen a boss or anything. It does remind me of the pandemic. The government telling people to stay home and stay safe. Right? I don't know, like, the government is also saying, oh, you need to report suspicious cases. How the fuck are you going to do that? Like, you're staying indoors. They don't have access to phones. Have you heard that story in German about the Zoophile Pride March? Dude, it's Germany. But I like, the story would be if there is no degeneracy happening in Germany. Like, just so you can understand about German history, when the communists took over Europe, one of the first things that they did was to ban brothels everywhere, right? Like, communists didn't really, like, despite the popular myth, communists didn't really appreciate degeneracy. Like, let me put it this way. European communists from the Soviet Union would be considered far-right today. Like, they would be considered extreme far-right individuals. So, Romania, for example, it had access to brothels. The church knew about it, and the church didn't do anything about it. Like, the church was probably taking money on the side, but they were saying, oh, well, you know, people should have the option to choose, right? Like, you can't have virtue without sin. So just because there's a brothel there, we don't, like, you're not supposed to go there, right? You're supposed to resist temptation, and it's a good thing that there is temptation. Like, that's what the church said. So they didn't close them down. But then the communists come up, and then they close them down. The only country, like literally the only country in the world under communism, as far as I know, where they still had, not just brothels, but I also believe they had homosexuality not criminalized, because that's another thing communists did. Like, if you're a gay person, you'd go to jail. Is East Germany. Like, East Germany, because it had a culture that was so progressive, even the communists went like, okay, fuck that shit. We're not going to. Communists in Russia did close down the vodka breweries, yes. I think Stalin reopened them. So apparently you can press right click for a claw attack. Alright. Is this like an armor break thing? Oh shit. Oh, look at something else that I noticed that I'm kind of concerned about this. You don't have a stamina bar. So basically, you can just spam dodge button and there's no repercussions for it. Okay, so when you left click, you cause wounds, and the wounds apparently heal over time, so you're encouraged to just keep pressuring the attack. And with the right click, you make so that the wounds become permanent. So you're supposed to just left click a lot, and then you're supposed to right click in order to do the main damage. It's Sekiro? No, because like Sekiro, you had, I guess you had the stance bar where if you kept parrying, it would eventually drain the bar and you could kill someone if you broke their stance. And then you had a health bar. But like, this is different. You don't parry. You're supposed to just use like little light attacks and then do a lot of wounds. And then you're supposed to use your secondary weapon. Okay, so apparently you can steal weapons from enemies. So in this situation, like if you charge your right click and then you let it go and you kill someone with it, you gain access to what's called a reeved plague weapon. And it looks like this. And I guess it depends on the enemy, but you can only use it once and it has super armor. So that's interesting. So you gotta charge up your claw, you do damage with it, and then you steal a reeved weapon based on which enemy you manage to hit. And this sounds kind of cool, but to me it looks more like a gimmick so far. I don't know if it's going to be something that you can actually integrate into the gameplay mechanic, but we'll see. I mean, like, if you're fighting a boss, right? And you only have one reeve weapon and you use it once, that's kind of meh. Okay, so then you also have knives, and you can throw the knives in order to interrupt an enemy. I guess this is very similar to Bloodborne, where you have the gun, and the gun doesn't do any damage, but if you time it correctly, you can stagger an enemy. Yeah, so basically, yeah, that's kind of cool, right? So I hit this enemy, I stole his weapon. Ah, shit. Right, so you just need to like left click and time it properly, and after that you need to time one right click. There we go. And when they're down, you can use the right click, steal their weapon, which is what I did right now. The gun does damage, yeah, but like in the beginning it doesn't. Like when you just start out, maybe like you can level up the knives here, and eventually they do damage as well. But the gun was basically for parrying more than doing damage. I didn't die justifiably, stupid. Why do you have so little faith in me? This is the tutorial. Is there something behind me? No? Okay. How did this all begin? They said an accident occurred on the day of the king's birthday. Oh my god. Previously, the plague was only spreading outside the kingdom, but after the outbreak, all have gone mad. I really like these types of stories, like plague in the medieval time. That's a really great story that's not explored as often. Like right now, most stories that are explored are like, oh my god, there's oppression, you guys. Like there's these people. Oh, and you know what's happening to them? They're being oppressed. Oh, isn't oppression a bad thing? Oh my god. This is pretty much like all the stories. Like, oh look, the elves. The elves in Dragon Age. Do you know what's happening to them? They're being oppressed. There's racismus. There's racismus afoot. And it's like, you know, like that's a good story, but like, for the love of God, just make different stories every now and then, you know? Oh, you can, okay, so you can also use the knives in order to keep the wounds from healing, I suppose. Ah, shit. Okay, now I die. Oppression can be hard. Yeah, you know, I was talking about, like, how about the game where instead of fighting against the oppression, you're doing the oppression. So when Corvus' health reaches 0, his memory is interrupted and he gets memory shards. Alright, so this is like regaining your souls type of thing. Oh, you can also level up here. Alright. But like, I'm thinking about recent games that came out, and literally every one of them is like, oh my god, like social justice, you guys, is so fucking important. You know, like, these people are getting oppressed. They're getting oppressed, and it's like, it's not good. I'm like, okay. But can we have a different story, please? Isn't that the game where you play a white male? I don't know what, like you can't tell the race of this character, but I assume he's a white male, yes. Like, oh my god, white people make video games. Oh, they're including themselves in the video game. Who the fuck? You know, it's such a fucking dumb criticism. It's like criticizing Bollywood for casting Hindi actors. Like, it makes no fucking sense. I don't even know how the fuck this criticism managed to catch on. It's like, imagine looking at South Korea and it's like, oh my god, you guys, like South Koreans only cast South Korean actors in their movies. Holy shit. Oh, they must be such racists. Must be such like Japan. Oh my god, Japan, you know, it's casting Japanese people in their movies. Oh god, and they're writing stories about Japanese people. Holy shit. Oh, that's so bad. It is, right, like, it makes no fucking sense. It's like, who the fuck genuinely care? And you know what they actually say when they talk about this? It's like, okay, well, you need to cast black people in your movie so that black people watch it. Like, what they're saying is that, and this is not true, by the way, I don't believe this. But like, what they are saying is that black people are racist, and the only way they would watch a movie is if they see black people in it. It's like, they're disgusted in seeing white people. And it's like, oh my god, you know, like, this movie has white people in it. We're not going to watch it. Heaven X is dead. They all graduated. Oh, yeah. I keep getting asked, but I'm going to let Jeannie, when she has her debut, like, explain what happened with Heaven X. I don't think it's my place to talk about it, but, let's just say, like, what happened and what they say are different stories. Like, there might be a couple of inconsistencies. It's kind of funny, you know, like... Okay, I will say this. So you guys probably know Rosa, right? And when she graduated, the company released this statement saying that, oh, she's very sick. Like, she is really sick, you guys, you don't understand. Like, Rosa is ill. Like, the snake lady is not doing very well. She's, I I don't know if they say mentally ill. It's like, no, the health, right? Like, the health is not okay. Her HP bot is low. And obviously, like, that's not the case, right? So, when Rosa started streaming, it's like, oh my god, are you fine? Are you okay? Like, are you sick? I mean, this level of gaslighting, holy shit. I don't even know what to say. It's just... Imagine this, chat, right? Like, imagine this. You get fired from work, and then your boss tells all of your colleagues that you're ill. It's like, no, no, no. Or you know, you quit. Another example, right? You quit. And then your boss, instead of admitting that, okay, well, this guy quit. He didn't really like the job, you know, like he didn't like the workplace or whatever, right? And instead of the boss saying that, it's like, oh, well, he was just sick. The job because she's sick. I don't know, like, man, I really hate these companies with the PR bullshit, right? Like, especially when they release a statement over something that happened. It's like a person left, you know, like this individual left Blizzard, this game developer. Yeah, he was with the company from the beginning, and then he left Blizzard, and then the company releases a statement on why they left, and the statement is something like, oh well, he is looking for better ventures elsewhere, and you know, we're happy to have had him for so long, but now it's time to part ways. And I'm thinking, like, dude, you're not literally saying anything. Like, you're not just saying anything. You're full of shit. Just don't post a statement if you're not going to add anything to the conversation. Right? Why can't you say, well, you know, this guy, he didn't get along well with the boss. He thought that the boss is a cunt, and because of that, he quit. Like, why can't you do that? Why can't you? The pathway to all religions of the kingdom are either lined with monsters or blocked by soldiers. The pathway to all regions of the kingdom are either lined with monsters or blocked by soldiers. No one can leave, no one can enter. Yeah, this is... I mean, look. I can understand if a streamer finds a job too stressful. And they're like, well, I can't keep up with the hours. Even if it's like work from home. I can't keep up with the hours. There's just too much to do, you know. It's too tiring. I'm not making enough money. Like, that is understandable. But this clearly wasn't the situation in this case. Yeah, you know, like, this is the thing that I really hate. When like, companies give a PR statement that doesn't mean anything. Like, it is a talent to write 2 pages of white text on a black background without saying anything. Is this the boss? I think I reached the boss encounter. Where is this? Is this a cutscene? Ah, here we go. Oh, Mamacita. Okay, diversity hire lady is leaving. And I'm supposed to fight that? Why? You know, like, this is when these games lose me. It's like, oh, you need to fight this guy. Why? Just trust me, bro. He's bad. Oh, shit. Ah. Is this the first boss where you're supposed to lose? Holy shit. Yeah, this game does remind me of Bloodborne a lot. What the fuck? Was this the 1,000-year-old lolly? How does this lady... Okay. I was badly hurt. She made it just in time. You know, this is a one-time thing, isn't it? Like, if I get badly hurt again, she's not going to save my ass. With the right formula, it appears that the injury caused you to lose your memory. Oh my god, what an interesting plot. You know, like... Isekai is a much better plot than memory loss. Change my mind. Like, Amnesia and Isekai are both plot devices of throwing in the character in a world that they don't understand. And you, the reader, you don't know nothing about the world either, but you're experiencing it with the character at the same time. But I definitely enjoy Isekai more than the Amnesia. It's literally the same plot contrivance, right? It's like, think about any Isekai that you want. And now just think, okay, well, the main character lost his memory. Like, he's still in that world. He just took a hit to the head that doesn't remember anything. It's literally the same thing, right? But, like, Isekai is a lot more cool for some reason. Isekai is overused, so is Amnesia. It's just like a different plot thing. Like normally, the way stories work is that you have an introduction, right? Where the world is being introduced and the characters are being introduced, and then you have a journey, right? Like, that's the normal thing. But then you have Amnesia, and with Amnesia, you can introduce the character by skipping the introductions, right? You don't have to introduce the world. You don't have to introduce the characters or anything like that. It's like, you can put the character in the middle of the story, and he has amnesia. And, like, people know him, he doesn't know the other. It's kind of like the first Witcher game, right? Like, the first Witcher game could have very well been an isekai. Like, Geralt doesn't know anyone, doesn't remember anyone. Everyone knows him, though. Everyone knows what he did. And everyone's like, oh, you're Geralt, you did this shit. And I'm like, I don't fucking remember. Oh, yeah, because you have amnesia. The thing with amnesia, it's like the same with isekai, right? Like, you can use it properly or you can use it in a bad way. So the way you can use it properly is if characters remember who you are and what you did, and they tell you about stuff, you know, like you go into a town and everyone hates you because you've been there before and you've done some shit, right? Or there's like this big titty lady that slaps you for leaving her. Like that can happen, right? So that's like a good amnesia story. Isekai would be good if the main character uses knowledge that they gained from the previous world where they were at, or can travel between worlds or anything like that. But most of the time, it's just like a lazy plot device in order to just throw the character in the middle of things. Anyway, right, so... how does this lady, chat, reach the top shelf? Oh, like, she's got a chair. You know what? No, never mind. Like, maybe this is actually cool, because she's got, like, this little chair here, and she can put it here. Man, when the lady's so small, right? Like, she's an adult, I assume. But, like, there are adult girls that are this size, right? Like, a lot of sexual positions open up. Like, she's like traveling size, you know? You pick her up and you leave her with her. Like, it's really cool. There's no... Oh, look, she's got a ladder. I kind of like this, decorum, right? Like, it's a very nice room. There's a lot of things going on here. So she's got, like, this ladder. She goes all the way up here to the bed. And she's got, like, these boxes. She can climb on them. The families of the Knightly Order petitioned the king to stop sending knights to battle outside the kingdom's borders. The former chairman of the Institute of Alchemical Studies, Emerald, has officially appointed someone to take her position. Emerald said that she wants someone with even greater abilities than herself to lead the alchemical research in Hermes. The Twilight Circus, hailing from the Sea of Trees, was once again invited to perform at the royal court. As expected, Ringmaster Odur's new performance was received with great acclaim. Oh, am I going to fight against the circus? Like, that would be cool if they make enemies based on a circus theme. This is why lolis are so amazing. Okay, I'll tell you why lolis exist, chat. Or should I share this knowledge or wait for a super chat? You know, if you super chat me, I'll tell you why lolis exist. Nah, just kidding. I'm not going to do that. It's like that's like DSP thing, you know, like I have this knowledge, but I will not share it unless I get a super chat. Okay, so the reason lolis exist, and I'll tell you why tentacle porn exists as well. Actually, you know what, chat? Which one do you want first? Do you want to know why lolis exist, or do you want to know why tentacle porn exists? Because I got the trivia. I'll share it with you. Just tell me what you want. Also, now I have a map. Alright. Philosopher Hill is the royal family sanctuary. Every fall father would take us there. He says that on the hill he is not the king, but merely a father and a friend. Alright. Why would I keep it to myself? Like, you can Google this knowledge. It's not something that is hidden. Like, there are political reasons for both of tentacle porn and lollies to exist. I'm talking about, like, the history which sparked their creation. Okay, tentacles, right? So, this happens when Japan opened up to the West. After the United States used the gunboat diplomacy in order to crack open Japan like an egg. And they started trading with the world, because before that Japan was an isolationist nation, right? And they had their own culture and their own peculiar habits, let's put it like that. So you have a lot of lewd art that was being drawn at the time with naked ladies. You have women walking bare-chested on the streets, right? And this horrifies the Christian monks. Like, the Christian monks just, like, cannot believe what they are seeing. Because, like, no other European countries was like that. Or Middle Eastern. So they start shaming Japan for what it's doing. And eventually, as you know with Japanese culture, and if you know anything about Japanese artists on Twitter, like, they're very prone to responding to cultural shame. Like, they don't like that. So the king outlaws any depictions of nude, right? So they outlaw women walking bare chest in public. They outlaw imagery of pornography. And when I talk about imageries of pornography, like, I want you to imagine paintings, right? Like, Japanese people used to have, like, all these lewd paintings that the nobility would share, right? So they banned them. Now, this ban actually remains in their culture for a long while. And in order to get around the ban, because you're not allowed to show penetration, right? This is why when you watch Japanese porn today, you will see that the best part is pixelated, and it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, why would you watch porn and the actual penetration is pixelated, right? And this is because of that. It's not that ban remaining, but it's like the same culture around nudity that they're having. It's like, well, you're not allowed to show it. Okay, fine. So what people do is that they realize, but if you create a tentacle monster, then it's not a penis, it's just a part of the monster, right? Even if the tentacle looks like it, it's not, so you can actually draw it. And that's why you have, like, the tentacle porn that's so popular in Japan. It's just because of that thing. It's well, it goes around the censorship. Now, yeah, they walk bare-breasted in public. Well, we're talking about before World War II, right? Like, it's... I forgot, like, when Japan actually opened up to the world and started doing trade. But we're talking about that time period. So, shut up, Jiggy. That's why you have tentacles. Now, regarding lolly, from my understanding, there was also a similar censorship rule where you had to show pubic hair on characters. I think this was in the 90s. So, like, if you have a depiction of a character, it had to have pubic hair. So the way around it was to create, like, the lolly 5,000-year-old vampire. Which, don't get me wrong, like, it's degenerate as fuck. But that's how it came to be, right? Like, I'm not justifying it, I'm just explaining it how it came to be. Like, why writers decided, hey, you know what we need to do? Like, have the 5,000-year-old succubus witch, which is in the game, and she looks like a child, but she's actually 5,000 years old. Where the fuck am I supposed to go? Hold on. Is there a map? Like, there's probably a map here. The thing that I don't like is that I don't know where I need to go. Like, and this is why I was spinning around like an idiot. I mean, technically, it should be on this door, but there's no way of opening it, so this is not the way. Then you have this area. But this area is blocked, so this is not the way. This is also locked. Yu Yu Hashiko is underrated. I don't know what that anime is, man. Like I'm not familiar with it. Maybe I need to talk to the NPC. Oh, okay. Continue to recall. Ah, here we go. Sea of Trees. In the early days of the plague, the nobles banished all criminals, the poor, and the sickly to lower levels of the kingdom known as the Sea of Trees. The upper rings of society, living above the slum, care nothing of their lives. Oh, kind of like COVID, right? They refer to them as the hopeless, letting them to succumb to the sickness. Okay, so let's try this. No, I don't think she's a loli. Like, this is another thing which I find weird. Patreon does it as well. Like, there are girls that are small. I don't know. I don't know if people notice this, but when you go outside and when you go clubbing, like, sometimes you'll find an adult girl, and she looks like an adult. Like, she's got big tits and everything, but she's just small. Like, she's small in stature. Alright? Like, that's not a loli. Like, she doesn't look like she's underage. Like, she looks like a mature woman. It's just that she's tiny. You know, like, Peter Dinklage is not a fucking loli, chat. I don't think, like, anyone going to Peter Dinklage and saying, oh my god, he's so cute, and picking him up and snuggling him. Like, I wouldn't recommend that. Peter Dinklage, he's our hero. Oh my god, like, I still don't understand how Peter Dinklage can be such a massive asshole. Like, he is the biggest asshole that I can remember in recent time. Like, okay, so for those of you who don't know what he did. I mean, okay, so first of all, he pissed off the fans from Game of Thrones, right? He's basically going like, oh, why do you care about the ending? It's a show about dragons. Why do you get invested in it? Just shut the fuck up and give me your money, right? Like, okay, so that was like the first thing. But the second thing that he did... The Twilight Circus has the following openings. No restriction or qualifications. All able-bodied applications opened. 20 positions. Street vendor, 10 positions. 5 male and 5 females will undergo a physical examination and perform clerical duties within the time. Okay, so the second thing which Peter Dinklage did, which honestly is the biggest asshole thing to do. He goes to Disney and complains about Snow White and the 7 fucking dwarfs, chat. He complains about, oh my god, like, I thought we moved past this. I thought we moved past this. It's like, why is, like, this stereotypical depiction? Right? So, he gets Disney to stop showing Snow White and the 7 fucking dwarfs. Now, do you know who cares about that the most? Like, do you know who's the most affected people? Like, that's right, actors that suffers from dwarfism. You know, like the actual people that would have gotten roles for the job. And they're absolutely livid now because, well, like Peter Dinklage, why do you know about him, right? Because no one knew about him before he decided to get a role in Game of Thrones. And which role did he get? Oh yeah, that's right, the role of a guy that's a dwarf, right? Like Tyrion in Game of Thrones, like, the fact that he's a dwarf is actually a major important plot point in the development of his character. So the motherfucker, right? Like, he gets rich. Like, he makes money hand over fist by getting a role for being a dwarf. And then he kicks down the ladder for all the other actors. Like, there's 7 actors that could have starred in Disney and jump kicked their career. And now they're not going to be able to. Peter has Napoleon complex. I don't fucking know what he has, but he is such a selfish person. My fucking god. Like, very few actors are as selfish as Peter Dinklage. We have returned a brand new program just for you, the audience, with feature acts. Big Clown Bitorama, Dagger Fatal Roller Call, and the thing Anticipate the Grand Illusionist. Every Saturday and Sunday. Alright, so... They're hyping up this circus, which I think I'm going to end up fighting. Man, I don't know, like, there's a lot of people that say, oh, well, I don't like dwarves because, they're mean or whatever, you know. I mean, look, I can understand, that if you have, like, a certain condition which you need to live with, and everyone around you is treating you differently, I mean, that's going to affect your personality. That's definitely the case, right? But I don't know if people suffering from dwarfism are all like that, like if they're all that like Peter Dinklage. But what I can say is that try not to be like him, okay? Like try not to kick down the ladder for other people. And I see this with comedians all the fucking time, right? Like you have a comedian, Nyanners, for example. Like Nyanners is another perfect opportunity to describe this phenomenon. So Nyanners is this VTuber. And I think like in the beginning she wasn't a VTuber. I think she made her fame by pandering to 4chan. Right? So she pandered to 4chan culture and she became internet famous for it. Now, after she becomes famous, she starts becoming, she starts trading on Tumblr. And now she, you know, like completely drops her 4chan persona. And she adopts her Tumblrina one, which is fine, you know, like people change. I do understand that like some people might change their political ideology. They might generally believe in different things. Or they might even do it for commercial purposes, right? Because like you don't get banned for being a Tumblrina, but you get banned from being an edgy 4chan lord. But the thing is, like she starts calling out people that are edgy after doing that. Like she starts going out of her way in order to call out people that are part of the 4chan culture. And it's like, okay, but like, why are you doing this? Like, that is the culture which made you famous, right? Like, that's what got you views. And now you're turning your back on these people. And you're kicking down the ladder so other people can't do it. And you notice it with comedians as well. Like, there are many comedians which... I mean, imagine if the South Park guys, right? Like, if the South Park guys would start getting offended about politically incorrectness and start canceling people. It's pretty much like that. All 7 people on Tumblr must watch your content? Man, like, Tumblr used to be big. Right? So it's not... What is this? Apparently, if I go here, I get poisoned. So Tumblr used to actually be big. I don't know if I die if I go in the poison or if just my health starts dropping slowly. She started leaning heavily into the lolly role. I don't care, man. Like, I don't watch her content. I'm not into that. I mean, it is capitalism at the end of the day. You know, if people like that, they're going to watch it. To me, the hypocrisy strikes the worst. Imagine how it would be for me to start going after right-wingers, right? And all of a sudden, I'm now a left-leaning person, and I'm like, oh, well, yeah, you're a right-winger? Like, oh my god, I'm going to report your channel. Kind of like that, you know? My god, this game is so much like Bloodborne. Like, okay, so if you like Bloodborne, you like this game. Let's put it like that. Plague weapon. Corvus can use skill shards obtained from fallen enemies to unlock or upgrade plague weapons. Corvus can equip and unlock plague weapons in the plague weapon menu. Alright. Used 1 to cast and equip plague weapon. Let's see. Imagine V becoming pro center. Man, I've seen people do worse for less. But yeah, pretty much. Like, imagine becoming pro censorship. Which is the dumbest. Like unless you're a billionaire, unless you're a media mogul, unless you're like a very famous uncancelable actor, you shouldn't be pro censorship because it's going to come back against you. I'm left-leaning. I think I'm a centrist. I think like I got certain left-leaning ideologies and certain right-leaning ideologies. I wouldn't call myself like, oh, I'm a hardcore right-winger or I'm a hardcore left-leaning person. Although, given the current situation of things, like given the current political climate, I would say that I would rather have like the right-wingers gain more power than voting for like a left moderate. Like right now, what we need is less taxes. We need less taxes, we need less inflation, and most importantly, we need the gas prices to go down. So, we probably need a little bit of Jesus as well, and I'm an atheist. But like a little bit of Jesus to increase the demographic decline. Because like the welfare state is dependent on it. Either get rid of the welfare state or bring in Jesus. Like, choose one. Because the welfare state is like making government the daddy, right? So now the government provides for you. Now the government gives you protection. Now the government gives you security. But in order for that to happen, the government needs to collect taxes. And if people don't have children, where is the government going to collect the taxes from? Jesus would chase out the IRS? Probably. Okay, now I can level up. So you can put points in strength, vitality, and plague. Oh, like plague is claw damage. Oh, yeah. Okay. I got you. Corvus can use talents. Oh, now we got talents. So, perform a fast saber attack, 3-hit combo. You can increase the combo, I guess. While in the air, press to perform a downward slash. After performing an execution, some health and energy. Oh, you got, okay. Corvus can perform a second that. This is kind of cool. When successfully damage enemies attack, gain us. How many points did I unlock? Holy shit. Oh, you can upgrade your feather as well. Yeah, it's a new game. It came out 2 days ago. It's a Souls game, very similar to Bloodborne. There we go. Oh, you can reset. I really hate the game that allow you to reset the talents. Like, why would you do that? Why don't you allow for replayability? Okay, so now I unlock the hand axe. I see. Chris Chad would be a better president than the current administration. Unironically, like a president that does nothing is better than the current one. Like, when is the last time the government actually did something that you are happy? Like, think about it this way, right? When is the last piece of legislation that actually improved your life? And you're like, oh, I'm so glad that the government passed this legislation. I mean, without it, right? Never. So, every single time the government passes legislation, it's kind of like, oh look, there's a new tax. Oh, there's now another thing that is being banned. Like they're banning more, they're taking away more, they're taxing more, they're passing a new regulation, making your life more difficult. So, basically, a government that does nothing is actually way better than what we have today. Like, imagine a government that did nothing during COVID. Holy shit. Right? I mean... like, what the government does nowadays is it looks like, okay, where are transactions happening? Like, what, you know, where are two people that just want to do a trade between each other? And what the government does is like, okay, well, we need a middleman. Like, we need someone between those people, and hopefully we can take a cut. That's what the government does. potion menu, you can use alchemy enhancers. Yeah. Lumi is actually one of my favorite VTubers, and she gets away with so much stuff on Twitch. Holy shit. If Lumi was a man, like if you want to get Lumi banned from Twitch, you need to find like the polymorph potion and turn Lumi into a guy. Like there is no fucking way she will manage to get away with the stuff that she does on her streams if she was a guy. I mean, it's not, I don't think the game is a Souls clone, you know, it's the same way as you have first-person shooters. Like, take into account first-person shooters, initially, they were called Doom clones, right? So, yeah, I mean, technically it is a Soul clone, but the combat is very different. So, it's not like any of the Souls games. The combat isn't like Sekiro, it's not like, Dark Souls, it's not like Bloodborne. It's completely original. The lore is also very interesting. So I wouldn't say that this is a quote-unquote clone of Dark Souls. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the same genre, alright? Like, there is this new genre, I guess, that some video games try to emulate, which is coming from the Souls series. That's what it is. There are no V clones, unfortunately. The only problem with Lumi that I don't understand, maybe I'll ask her, is like, why the fuck would you get independent? Like, you can keep all the super chats, you got access to your model, and you want to join another company. Like, why? Why would you join another what does it offer you? Like, why do you want people to take your money? Because, like, most VTubers that join a company is because they can't afford their model, and they don't know how to get started, right? But, like, once you get started, once you have the audience, once you build your audience, and once you have your model, and you're making good income, why would you want to join another company? I mean, maybe she's got her reasons, I don't know, like, maybe she's afraid of getting cancelled, maybe... I don't know what they offered her. I mean, maybe they offered her something, right? Like, maybe they offered her a wage. Like, I know Face Connect offers their talent a wage, which is actually really cool. So, oh, shit. Yeah, models are very expensive, so... Alright, so here's my take on the game. The game is actually pretty good. I would recommend it to people. If you like Bloodborne, you should buy this game because it's not that expensive. And yeah, I mean, I find the combat interesting, and not only that, but the lore is also quite intriguing. All right, so now let's talk about VTubing for a bit. I'm gonna show my face. Let me show my pretty face on screen. There we go. All right, so the model of a VTuber now can go all the way up to, sorry, like the average price is $4,000. It's $2,000 the model, $2,000 the rigging. This is assuming you want something which looks professional. You can get something for $50. Here's the thing: if you are a person that wants to start, you should get something cheap, because you don't know if you're going to like doing it. You don't know if it's going to be popular. Don't invest. I know so many idiots that invested $4,000 in a model and then they stream for a couple of weeks and they stopped, right? It's kind of like, imagine if someone wants to start streaming, they never streamed before, and they buy a Joe Rogan studio. Just by having Joe Rogan studio doesn't guarantee you're going to get views, right? So it's pretty much like that. Just don't jump into it. Now, $4,000 per model, in my opinion, it's very expensive. I think my model looks the best. You know, the rigging costs a lot, but it looks very lifelike, doesn't it? So the prices are going up because like VTubing now is not just a trend. Like companies are getting into it. So Kellogg's Frosties announced that they want Tony the Tiger to be a VTuber on Twitch, and that's when you know that the entire thing is going to become cancerous. I'm actually going to make a video about that on my secondary channel after I finish this one. But yeah, like Kellogg's, the cornflakes, they're going to make their own VTubing avatar, and it's going to be on Twitch. And you know, the more companies that they jump on this, like I heard the rumor, which I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but like Blizzard is thinking it. Like Blizzard wants to make their Overwatch characters into VTubers, so they want to hire actors that are going to be like a Mercy, which appears on Twitch and does things like that. That actually could work, right? Like having Overwatch VTube characters, like having Mercy, having Tracer, you know, having all of these characters like Pharah, and they're like VTubers that are promoted by Blizzard, and they have Blizzard quality art and Blizzard animators doing the thing. That could work, right? But the problem is, like, when you have corporations like barging into a hobby, they're going to destroy the hobby, because immediately they're going to be, oh, the wider audience, and then the journalists, you know, the first thing they want to do is to mop up the competition, so mop up the independents, and they're going to be like, oh my god, like, look how concerning what this VTuber said is. Like, look how concerning the joke that she said is. We need to cancel her, you guys. We don't need to stand up for this. We as VTuber fans, we shouldn't stand up for, you know, Lumi making her edgy jokes on stream. Man, we need to cancel people, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's going to be very soulless. Like, I don't think Blizzard can actually allow talents to do the things that they want to do. Like, they can't just hire a girl, a voice actor, and then be like, okay, well, do your thing. Like, just do your thing. Just spurg out. You know, play Overwatch, spurg out. No, they're going to be very hands-down approach. They're going to be like, oh, you can't say this, you can't say that. They might even be like, oh, you need to read the script. Try reading the script when you're streaming and shit like that. So, what can you do? Blizzard should make VTuber cam girls for their Overwatch character. Yeah, that's what I heard, right? Like, that's what they want to do. Like, they want to create their Overwatch characters into VTubers and then hire people to do the acting. Now, if done properly, it would be insanely successful. And it would also promote their games. Like, they could shill their games by doing that. Like, imagine if they had, like, 4 popular VTubers, and then Diablo 4 comes out, and all of them are playing Diablo 4, and they're giving knowledge about the game that you can't get anywhere else, and they're also giving, like, free beta keys and giveaways and shit. Like, that would be really popular, and they could promote their brand, but I don't think they know how to do that. I genuinely don't think they have the capacity of allowing the talent to be independent and entertain people. And this is assuming they're doing it, right? Because from what I heard, it's just like something that's being passed around in the office. It's like, by the way, let's try doing this. But yeah, it will definitely be HR controlled. Yeah, Diva is perfectly for it. I mean, League of Legends had this for a while. It wasn't really a VTuber, but it was that singing chick. I forgot the name of her, Seraphine, right? Like, so, League of Legends did this with Seraphine. She was like a V-Twitter. So it was a character in the game, and this was like one of the most brilliant promotion skits that Riot ever did. Like, I was genuinely impressed by it. So, they have this character that they made... And I think, like, they made her specifically for this, because, like, the character is a Soda clone, right? Like, it's not really a very original character or something that needed to be added in the game. They even gave her an ultimate skin. So, she had a Twitter account, and she kept posting pictures about her day, and she was tweeting to people, and, like, what she is, I I believe she's like an influencer in the world of Riot, right? So she would just like, she's a musician and stuff, and she would release music on Twitter, and she would post like pictures like of her day. It's like, oh, this is what I'm doing right now, you guys, right? And she kept doing that, and it was such a beautiful promotion for their game, right? Because they jumped on the bandwagon of influencers and stuff. So like, she had a Twitter account, but like, it was, you know, it wasn't a real person, obviously. But she pretended that she's actually a real person, and she kept uploading pictures of her bedroom and the songs she's releasing, and, you know, she would talk about how she's growing in fame and popularity, and it was really good. Oh, it was even like having pictures of her and cats. Like, look, let me show you one. I think this is I don't know which one is fan art and which one is done by Riot, but like, she would post pictures like this. Yeah, it's kind of like a cringe gimmick corpo account, but it was done properly. Like, I can't say, oh, this is bad marketing. Like, oh, who's going to look at this and want? No, there were a lot of people that looked at this and they were like, okay, well, I want to play this character, so I want to you know, get her in League of Legends, maybe buy some skins. So yeah, like, this cringe marketing, as you call it, actually, it's a lot better than Gillette having their commercial with toxic masculinity and stuff. Oh, look, like, she... These were the best, by the way. Like, she had so many fucking cat pics, chat. She had so many fucking cat pics. Look at this. Right? Like, she just had so many cat pics on her Twitter account. It was absolutely hilarious. Like, she had an army of Nekos every single time she was posting. It's like another cat pic. And this is like how most people started going. It's like, what the heck? Like, who is this person? Because like, you'd see this girl with cats everywhere, and you'd know, like, well, okay, well, who is she? And then it's like, oh, this is a new character from Riot. Oh, like, she's actually a hero in the game, right? Being for League of Legends makes it 1,000 times worse. I don't know. I mean, I think like the hatred for League of Legends is overhyped. There are far worse games out there than League of Legends. And I think Riot right now is probably one of the last good AAA gaming companies that actually cares about their fans to a certain degree. Yeah, it is kind of cute. Like, she kept having like all these pictures with cats made for her. Let me see if I can find another one. Here you go. Like, look, it's just an army of cat pics. So you'd be on Twitter and you find this picture and it's like, you know, someone retweets it and it's like, what is this? Is this a new VTuber? Like, what is going on? Why is it so good? And it's like, oh, it's a Riot champion? What? So yeah, it was a good marketing, I think. I don't think it's cringe. I think it actually spoke to the community. I think like this is what the community want. Now, if you want to get into the cringe part, there is cringe of it. Like, there's an actual controversy of it. So apparently one of the developers which made Seraphine was accused by this lady, which was his ex-girlfriend, of having stolen her image. And I don't know if she sued Riot or not. But she basically claimed that it's her face that this developer used in order to create Seraphine, and she found that to be, I don't know if she said rape culture, but she found it to be very problematic because she wasn't asked for permission. And she found that creepy and stalking. Right? So apparently she dated the developer at Riot, and then they made this character that looks like her. Yeah, like, literally, you stole my face. I don't think she's going to win a lawsuit based on it. I mean, but it was just like a bizarre controversy, and you had like a lot of feminists getting angry. Like, why are you angry? What the fuck? Hey, here you go. League of Legends character is based on me, and Riot denies it. Now here's the thing. Like, if you make a video game, right, and you have like a Donald Trump in it, You don't need to ask permission to have like a Donald Trump lookalike in your video game. Like, Donald Trump can't sue you for using his face, right? Especially if it's like this, like you're having like an animated character. So like this lady complaining is like, yeah, I mean, it's not a crime, lady. Like, feel free to sue, but I don't think you're going to win. So Stephanie shared her post in a Medium last night. Oh yeah, I mean, the resemblance is unfucking canny. You know, and it's also, oh my god, she took a picture with a cat. Oh, clearly it's her. Like, clearly, you know, her with a cat is definitely... Like, what other woman has a cat and takes pictures with the cat? Is there any other woman out there that does this? So Stephanie shared her post in a Medium last night. She described a brief relationship with a Riot employee with whom she bonded over love for League of Legends. In screenshots of their communication, John allegedly conceptualizes ideas for skins for her favorite character, which was Ari. That would look like Stephanie. Furthermore, when she visited him for a tour at Riot Games Studio, he had apparently shared her essay about the realms of Pitlover and Zahn, and also gave her portrayals to Riot Games artists of herself as Ari. She thought that this was strange, owing to the fact that they'd only known each other for 3 months and had only met her in person twice. Look, woman, if you think that something is strange, that's your opinion, okay? So, like, this lady is hooking up with this developer at Riot, and like, she thinks it's strange because she only met twice and this guy is so into her. Like, there are simps online which are donating thousands of dollars to their e-girl and they haven't met her even once, alright? Like, this is not strange. This is completely normal human behavior. Like, if you're an attractive lady and you're flirting with a guy online, yeah, he's going to develop feelings. Like, I'm sorry if guys don't develop feelings the same way that girls do, but yeah, like, you managed to get him infatuated with you, alright? Now, what does he do with this infatuation? Does he actually commit a crime? No. Like, he took your portrait and gave it to the people at work, which is probably what artists do. Like, every single artist does this. It's not just from Riot, okay? Like, I know artists from DC, I know artists from Marvel. Like, they look at human faces from people they know, and they draw them. Now, most of them use Google in order to do it, so they don't use people from their real life. And yes, it is fucking normal. Like, I'm sorry to say, but it is a phenomenon that involves millions of people that are just giving money to their favorite e-girl to the point where you say, yeah, like, it is normal. Make absolutely sure that if you have a kid, you don't let him on Twitch unsupervised, and you keep your credit card in a fucking safe. Yeah, I mean, like, imagine if companies were to sue cosplayers then, because, like, the reverse is also true, right? Like, if you're saying, oh my god, like, they use my face to create a character, but, like, if that's the case, when you cosplay as Ari, then League of Legends should also sue your ass, because you're also stealing the face of their characters? So anyway, John also insinuated that he could influence the direction of KDA, the fiction pop group of League of Legends, because he knew a lot of people on that team. In games, he would often say, we have to put it in, to Stephanie jokes and suggestions while playing. He was keen for Stephanie to... Okay, so, like, this developer was such a fucking simp, chat. Like, he was such a fucking simp. He fell in love with this girl, and apparently, like, he was trying to pressure his team in order to put the face and the likeness of this girl into the game. I don't see any problem with it. Do you know how many times rock stars do this? Like, do you know how many times singers will sing about an ex-girlfriend or someone? Right? And even, like, female singers do this as well. Like, they will have a relationship that they don't like, and then they're going to make an entire song about it. You can't sue people that look like you, no. Google translation for V is epic. Oh, fucking hell. So, Stephanie reveal, which coincided with her birthday. I mean, like, look, what this actor did is fucking sweet. You can't change my mind, alright? Like, what he did is sweet. There are so many women that would like to be in this position. It's not illegal. If you think that it's, oh my god, it's cringe, okay, block him. Like, no one would know. Like, here's the thing, right? Like, she complains, oh my fucking god, you know, like, he took my face, put it into the game, and, you know, I didn't give permission. No one would fucking know. Okay, like the only reason people know is because you brought it up. Like you wanted the spotlight. You can't put the spotlight on yourself and then say that you're shy and you wanted to be left alone. So apparently, my worries only grew and my heart sank more and more with every post. As shown in the photos from Stephanie, a lot of Stephanie poses and posts match up to those of the real life person. Her sketches, her cuddles with her cat, her hairstyle, her name, even her features could be argued to be a copy of Stephanie's. Dude, your fucking photos are so cliche. Like, I have seen this photo a bajillion times. Like, this photo right here. Chat. Like, close your eyes and tell me if you haven't seen this photo before. I like, oh, a cat is snuggling. Oh, clearly. But even if it was the same fucking photo, like, even if it was ripped pixel for pixel, who fucking cares? Yeah, literally, do you have a license for that photo? Yeah, she smells the dollar opportunity. Like, this is her moment of fame. I don't know what she did, but, like, I'm willing to bet, like, she's getting a lot of clout for this. So Stephanie and her similarities have been violating. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, you know, go to a women's domestic abuse shelter and say you've been violated. Then the woman next to you is like, oh my god, you know, I got beaten by someone. Another woman goes like, I got raped. And you're like, oh yeah, I can definitely feel the pain. You know, like a Riot developer, yeah, he took my pictures and made a character in the game that has similarities towards me. I like, this is not normal. Like, I'm cosplaying Ari. I get to cosplay as their characters, but like when they make characters that look like me, that's a little bit too far. It's a little bit too much. All in all, she explained the situation of Seraphine and her similarities have been violated, and that random strangers sent her the characters to point out the resemblance. However, she admitted that there is no way to conclusively prove that Seraphine was inspired by Stephanie, and that her issues lie with Riot Games and not with the man she used to date. It's a quaint idea, but when you think about it more closely, the idea of marketing team in some office in LA trying to sell a product by coming up with the most relatable and marketing things to tweet out of the account of a girl who coincidentally looks like me and talks like me and sounds like me and draws like me just makes me sick. Okay, I think you have a problem. I definitely think the issue is with you. I genuinely do. I mean, look, I'll show you something else, chat. Alright, I'll show you something else. So, there's a new Street Fighter character. What the fuck is his name? Luke. Alright. So, Luke from Street Fighter, especially in the new iteration, like in Street Fighter 6, you're going to see something, chat, that you're not going to unsee. Look here. Look here, you bigots. This is my fucking logo. This is my fucking logo. I've been using this logo for several years now. Look at it. Look at it, chat, right? Maybe I should make a tweet logger. Maybe I should make a tweet logger about how I was a queer individual. You know, like I was sexually confused and I was dating this Capcom employer. And what they did is they took advantage of me. And they took the logo from my channel and they put it in Street Fighter. This is literally me, chat. This is literally me. I'm literally shaking right now. They stole my personality, chat. This evil company, they stole my personality. They stole my brand. They're stealing my channel. No, I didn't copyright it. And honestly, I wouldn't give a shit. Like, even if it was my logo, I'd be like, okay, but it's a fighting game. There's no fucking way that people can make the mistake of confusing Luke with me. He's literally me, friends. He's literally me. Oh my god. They probably stole my moves. Maybe. I don't know. Oh god. And again, like, she is not in the right. If a company, like, companies can use the pictures of people, like, Okay, like if the company, if League of Legends, right, like actually took her photos and used them as promotional material, yeah, that's fucked up. But they used the cartoon character. Like, if I were to make an anime and I have Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the anime and their lookalikes and what, they can't sue me. Like, no crime is being committed. Nothing wrong is being done. Liberally shaking. Oh my god, I'm going to steal that. Yes, they are liberally shaking. Anyway, I think I ran out of content. So, my opinion on the game, going back, it's a good game. If you like Bloodborne, you're probably going to like this. The combat is a little bit confusing. It takes a while to get to know what it's about. The talent system is a little bit meh. I for some reason preferred the Souls system, but I pretty much think you can get used to it if you play it. No, I'm not going to complete it, man. Like, people don't really like it when I do Let's Plays. I might do a game that's esoteric and people don't know, and I'm like, okay, well, this seems like a good game. Maybe you should buy it. And I'll do that type of stream. But I'm not actually going to play games on stream. I mean, look, I usually get 200 viewers. Now I got 100. All right? So, like, I'm getting that feedback. I'm looking at what people want to see, and I'm internalizing it. I understand there are some people that want to see me do Let's Play, so I will do it for them every now and then, but it's still the masses that decide, right? So if I see that people are more interested when I have a guest, then I'll get that guest on again, so on and so forth. Anyway, right. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment sections. I'll see you guys there, and in the meantime, I'm going to go make videos